The topic is Islam, politics, and terrorism. And Dr. LMadu has already laid out a strong foundation for the existence of some of the conflicts between various religions in various groups in this particular religion. And of course, Dr. LMadu, let's pick up where we left off during the first segment.
Yes, like I was articulating, you know, I'd articulate some of the differences, you know, between the Sunnis and the Shiites. But then what do they agree on? Yep, all of them agree that, you know, Muhammad is the prophet. All of them agree in the Quran, you know, and all of them agree in the 5 pillars of Islam, which is one, the Shahada, which is, you know, there's no, you know, God but Allah, and Muhammad is the prophet. They agree in the Salah, you know, praying 5 times a day. They agree on Ramadan, you know, the month of fasting. They agree on the Hajj, you know, the pilgrimage, and they agree on the Zakat, which is giving alms to the poor. They agree on these tenets, but apart from it, they don't agree on anything else, you know, and that's the root of some of the political problems you have in Iraq, you have in Lebanon, you know, and other countries where there's, you know, fairly large populations of Shiites and Sunnis. These are the problems. Now, where do, you know, these Muslims, you know, exist, and in numbers, in which countries? Because at times when we talk of Muslims, our head goes to, Middle East only, you know, the Arab countries, Egypt, Jordan, this. But we forget that 90 or 80% of the Muslims don't even live in the Arab world. Yeah, in the whole country, world today, you have about 180 countries. Out of these 180 countries, about 48 countries are Muslim dominated, including Indonesia, Pakistan, you know, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, Niger, Nigeria, Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, you know, Comoros, Brunei. All these are Muslim dominated countries. And out of these 48, about 44 are Sunni dominated. And the only 4 of them are Shia dominated, you know, and amongst these, Iran is Shia dominated, Bahrain is Shia dominated, Azerbaijan is Shia dominated, you know. Then Lebanon is almost half and half, about 38% of the Muslims, you know, are shared in Lebanon. That's how you have this conflict in Lebanon, you know. Then Iraq is about 60% Shiite. Then the rest, 44 countries, are Sunni dominated, you know, from Pakistan all the way to Afghanistan. They're all majority Sunni countries. Now, when you talk of the numbers, 61% of Muslims live in Asia, not in the Middle East. 30% live in the Arab world, okay? I mean, 20% really live in the Arab world. 30% of Muslims live in Indonesia, I mean in Pakistan, India, and Kashmir. 30%. 15% live in Indonesia. 15% live in sub-Saharan Africa, you know. Okay, and then the rest smatter and live in other countries, the rest 15%. Now, most people don't know that the largest Muslim country in the world is Indonesia. It's about 202 Muslims, you know, okay? Larger than all the Muslims living in the Arab world with the exclusion of Egypt, okay? Now, in terms of number, Indonesia is the #1 Muslim-dominated country in the world. It's about 200 of them. Second is Pakistan. It's about 174. Now the third, surprisingly, most people don't know, is India, with 160 million Muslims.
Living in India.
In India, more than those in the Arab world except Egypt, okay? You see, 160 million in India. Then in Bangladesh, you have about 145 million in Bangladesh. In Nigeria, you have about 60 to 70 million Muslims. In Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
That's correct. See, most people don't know
that.
Most people don't know this. So you put all these numbers together, you see that majority of Muslims are not living in the Middle East. They are not Arabs, you see. So, but whenever we hear about Muslims or Muslim terrorists, our head goes to the Arab world, forgetting that most Muslims do not live there. China has about 20 million Muslims. A group called the Uyghurs in China. Some of them were arrested and detained at Guantanamo Bay. Yeah, they are Muslims. The Uyghurs, predominantly, about 20 million Chinese are Muslims. People don't know that. About 16 million Russians are Muslims. Yeah, the Russian province of Chechnya, where they were fighting before, yeah, they are predominantly Muslim. Most people don't know that. Yeah, so a whole lot of Muslims do not live in the Middle East. In fact, in the Middle East, the largest Muslim-dominated countries are Iran and Turkey. In Africa, it's Egypt and Nigeria. Okay, so you see that the Islamic faith predominantly is not really in the Middle East. But because of the political aspect of Islam, you know, the Middle East becomes a focal point of Islamic, you know, terrorism and Islamic, you know, activism. The Palestinian problem, the Iraqi war, the Iranian problem, all these accentuate, you know, our thinking that all Muslims live in exactly live in the Middle East, not knowing that that's not so. Most of them are not in the Middle East. And that is why a lot of the Islamic countries get offended when we lump them together as if they are all terrorists. But the political dimension of terrorism today is what really, you know, accentuating the fact that people are thinking of the Arabs and Islam as the main, you know, terrorist group. For example, Bin Laden's group, Al-Qaeda, is predominantly a Sunni, you know, dominated group. The Shiites, like the Shiites in Iran and all the rest in Lebanon, are opposed to Bin Laden because of, you know, the Shiites.
So we put them here, we put them all, everybody together.
But we bunch them together. People don't understand that, you know. And that's what happened when we were accusing Saddam Hussein of being, you know, friends with Al-Qaeda and all this. But people don't understand that Al-Qaeda is against Saddam Hussein because Saddam Hussein is a secular leader. He doesn't believe in any religion dominating anything. In fact, under his government, Iraq was a secular government. And people need to understand that, you see. So that's very important here, that all Muslims are not supporters of Bin Laden, you know, because of particularly the Shiites.
And of course, Dr. LMadu, we're coming to the end of this second segment, and I'm almost reluctant to stop it, even because I know that we're coming up to the third segment. But let's stop it there, and then we'll come back for the final segment. And we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. The topic is Islam,